What's up, guys? This is Al, and in today's episode, I'm gonna be showing you how I changed this interior door and got paid about $1,000. Yes, this simple job right here. I'm gonna tell you exactly how long it took me. I'm gonna give you a few tips how to make your life easier if you ever encounter a job like this. How the customer found me, how I quoted the job, how everything about everything. So if you want to find that out, make sure you keep on watching. Alright guys, let's get started. As you can see, I have some paper roll on the ground. Anytime I do expensive jobs, especially like this one right here, I always tape everything. I cover the floor all the way to my work area. Not only will this make you look professional, it will also tell the customer that you are worth every penny they're paying you. Yes, because guess what? Most contractors out there, most handymen, most everybody out there will not do that for you because most people do not care. Most people just want to get paid and then be gone. They don't care about their work. They don't care about anything. They just want quick money and that's it. Well, for me, guys, I make a living doing this. So I care what my customers think, and I care if my customers are gonna refer me to their friends. And this is how you build up a network. This is how you build up relationships. You just gotta make sure to pay attention to the little details because people are gonna notice those. Now, if you're ever doing a door replacement like this, the first thing you're gonna need to do is remove the door. You can either unscrew it off the hinges or you can just pull the pins out and take it out of there. Just get it out of your way. The next thing you got to do, as you see me doing here, is I'm pre-cutting the caulking next to the trim and the wall. It is very important for you to do this because as you pull the trim off the wall, if you don't cut the caulking off, a lot of the times it will peel the paint off at the same time. And if you don't have matching paint, it's just an extra step that you're gonna have to do when the job is done, patching the paint that peeled off when you remove the old trim. So to make your life easier, always pre-cut the caulking and be careful as you take the trim off, just so that way you don't damage the existing wall. Now what I'm doing right here, I just got the new door in, and then most new doors, they have a lot of cardboard around and things that prevent you from damaging the doors. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just taking everything off. Now let's go ahead and talk about the job itself. How in the world did I just a handyman, run off the mill handyman like myself, made $1,000 on this job? Well, let me give you the story about it. This job right here is actually an insurance claim. So this lady, she bought some appliances from Home Depot. The people came over to install the appliances, the washer and dryer, and as they were, wheeling the stuff inside the house, they damaged the door. So, as you know, if you get anybody to deliver anything to your house, they are liable for any damages they cause. So the lady filed a claim, and Home Depot was just giving her the runaround. Home Depot could not find a contractor to do this job. They couldn't even get anybody to quote. So guess what? I came in, gave her a quote, and here I am. Now this part right here is very important. When replacing any door, whether it's interior or exterior, you always want to start at the hinge area. Make sure the hinge area is straight, sideways, and both ways, and make sure it's straight, level. And as long as that hinge area is level and everything is good to go, everything else will fall in place. Makes life a lot easier. So what I like to do right here is I like to level this up. Then I like to get some shims, and then I shim the top, make sure everything's good, and then I just put one nail on the top, and then it makes a lot easier, everything a lot easier. So that is exactly how I install most doors. Now this part right here is gonna take you a little while. Do not be intimidated. If I can do it, guys, so can you. Over here I'm showing you how the door, the reveal on the top was not even for me, so I had to raise that corner up a little bit. So I used a screwdriver and I put a little wedge on the bottom just to raise it up so that the reveal on the top of the door was even. But little things like that, you may most people are not gonna notice it, okay? But I notice it, and anytime I go to somebody's house, I always notice it. Especially if you do that for a living, you will notice other people's work. But anyways, I take pride in my work, and that's all that matters. So let's talk about the money, guys. So this lady, it was an insurance claim. It literally took over a year for Home Depot to actually give her the money. And the reason that they couldn't approve the claim was because they couldn't find anybody to come over and do a quote. So that is the main reason why I quoted this job a little higher than normal, simply because it was just an insurance claim. It's just the way the world works. So I came over. I gave her a quote for $1,380. How did I come up with that number? Okay, so for one, the door. This is not a standard door, guys. This door is 96 inches tall, about 8 feet tall, guys. So it's it's not your standard door. So anytime you're not dealing with something that is not common, you're always gonna charge more money. Like the sky is the limit when it comes to stuff that is not common. Obviously, a taller door requires more labor simply because I have to get more trim. It's harder to plumb the door and get everything level since it's a lot taller. And on top of that, she also wanted the door painted. I hate painting. I hate painting. So anytime that I quote painting jobs, anything that requires painting, I always charge a lot more. Simply because I don't want to do it. But if somebody really wants me to do it for them, it has to be worth my time. Because time is money. And I can make more money doing something else rather than painting. So for me to paint something, I have to make it worth my time. Now on this job, guys, I forgot my miter saw. And I wasn't driving back to my house to pick it up. So I improvised. I used my square. I used my saw. And then I used the square to line up my cuts so that I could get the 45 degree angle cuts for my trim. Sometimes you gotta improvise. It wasn't perfect, but guess what? Nothing caulking will not fix. And the thing is, guys, can you actually see my cuts are not like super 100% perfect? If you actually get up there on top of a stool and you look at the trim, like 3 inches, 4 inches away from your face, you can probably tell that I got the gap in there filled with caulking. But if you look at it from the bottom, you cannot tell. And that's one of the things that actually made my life easier when I started my handyman career. I realized that most things in construction are not perfect. And I would say about 99% of your customers out there, they will not notice your mistakes. They will look at it, and if it looks good, it's good enough to get paid. Now, I'm not saying I'm a hack, guys. I always do good work. I guarantee my work for one. So if somebody's not happy with my work, I will come back and I'll fix it. I will make it right. Regardless of how much time it takes me or how much money I have to spend, I will always make it right. What I'm trying to say is that the reason most people do not notice imperfections is because most people do not have experience in construction. The only people that are going to notice imperfections are going to be you guys out there judging me, watching this video, and telling me how I'm a hack, and then how much I ripped off this customer, and then you could have done a better job. Well, guess what, guys? Most of you right now are in debt. Most of you are looking for a side hustle, and most of you probably wish that you could be doing what I'm doing right now. And the thing is yes, you can. If I can do it, if this guy that you're watching right now in this video is able to make $1,000 changing this door, so can you. The only difference between me and you right now is I did not let fear control me. I did not let fear run my life. I overcame fear and I'm just going for it. And that is the way I run my life nowadays, guys. If I see something, I go for it. I do not care. I don't care about rejection. I don't care about failure. Failure will actually make you learn a lot faster. I think humans ourselves were wired to learn by failing at stuff. The more you fail, if you have an average IQ, the more you are going to learn. So I do not let fear control my life anymore, guys. And that is the reason why I'm able to charge that much money for this simple job right here. I know it's not perfect. I can tell you I could have done a few things better. I wish I had my miter saw so my cuts would have been a lot better. Not having my miter saw probably took an extra hour of labor simply because I had to cut everything by hand, then I had to sand it down and trim it and blah blah blah. It just took extra time. But you know what? I overcame that and here I am. Charging $1,000 for this job right here. Now let's talk about the logistics. The door itself, I think, was almost at $300. Miscellaneous stuff, the trim and all that good stuff, was another $150. So together, all the materials combined, I spent about $450. The job itself was $1,380. So technically, I made a little less than $1,000, but that's not bad for a day's work, guys. And how long did this job take me? This job, from start to finish, took me about 6.5 hours. It would have been a lot less if I had my miter saw that day, but I forgot it at my house, and it is what it is. Other than that, changing the door itself without painting, I would say it took me about 3 to 4 hours. And everything else, actually no, it took about 3 hours, and over half of that labor time was painting. But I was trying to be proactive, and while the door was drying outside, I came back inside, I painted the trim, and then cleaned up, and I used my time wisely so I didn't have to waste more time than I needed to. And I gave the door 2 coats of paint. I gave the trim 2 coats of paint. You can see it shining right now. It looks great. It looks amazing. The customer was extremely happy about it, and she didn't care about paying. You know why? Because it was an insurance claim, guys. So how did I come out with $1,380? So this is experience, okay? I know what companies charge to change doors like this. I know exactly how much they charge in my area to do this. Normally, a company that would have sent people to do this job would have probably charged, I would say, between $1,500 to $2,000 for this work that I did right here. And that is a company that, advertises everywhere, and they have a presence everywhere online. $1,500 to about $2,000, if not a little more. So I came up with, $1,380. Why $1,380? Well, for me, guys, when I don't know how long exactly something is going to take me, I just assume it's going to take me all day. And for me, if something is going to take me all day and it's going to require physical labor, I have to use my hands, I have to use my back, my legs, I have to sweat a little bit, that is an automatic $1,000 a day for me. That is what I think I'm worth, especially if I'm putting my health, my muscles, I'm putting my mind, my sweat and tears and blood into something. I think that's what I'm worth, $1,000 a day. So if I'm not sure about a job, how much it's going to take me, how long it's going to take me, I always charge about $1,000 a day. As you can see right here, guys, I'm done. But anyways, and the $380, that's how much I thought I was going to be spending in materials. So I did spend a little more. No big deal. I made a little less than 1,000, so it is what it is. But every time that you do work, guys, you're going to learn. You know how I learned how to change this? I learned it on YouTube. Just watching other people, how they change doors. And the first time that I went to change a door, it probably took me a lot longer than this, and I was a lot more stressed. But I learned, I went for it, and I did it. I did not let fear control my life, and I did not let people tell me that I couldn't do this. You can do anything you want in this life. The only thing preventing you from doing that is yourself. And that applies just to everything around you. Going to school, kids, your spouse, work, everything. And one by one, job by job, and here I am, guys. Now I can do a lot of these things without having to watch YouTube anymore. But that took a process. It took a few years and a lot of confidence. But if I can do it, guys, so can you. If you need money, this is the best way to make money right now. because people are so afraid to use their hands. I'll see you next time.